Hi everybody, coming to you from Savannah, Georgia. It is September 2020 and I'm going to talk to you today about some home values, but different from usual. Today we're going to explore what your investment of a $500,000 home purchase would look like, and also what a $1 million home investment purchase would look like. So stay tuned. I can't wait to show you everything. I just want to warn you that this video is going to be a little longer than my usual videos. And the reason for that is I'm going to go through all these neighborhoods and talk to you about them. But we're going to do a neighborhood like downtown and show you a couple examples of what a home would look like. And then we're going to go to the next area and do the same thing. So I want to give you an idea of the styles of the homes as we go along. So if you're interested, please watch to the end. I've got some really good nuggets. And at the very end, I'm going to give you the inside scoop on the very best value you can find in Savannah, Georgia if you're serious about being here. Stay tuned for that. Let's start with the obvious, the Savannah Historic District. We call it the Landmark District here. Anyway, people want to be here. They're coming from a big city. They want to mimic what they've had there, or they just like the lively nature, or maybe they haven't lived in a city at all and want to figure out what that feels like. The downtown area is super beautiful. We've got all these gorgeous squares. It's very walkable, shops, restaurants, etc. However, it is one of the most desired places to live. So what will $500,000 get you? Well, it'll get you a home that's 2,000 square foot or less. And that is the area that is going to be really close, very close to the riverfront. And I would say, let's give you some markers. If you're looking online, you'll see East or Anderson Street, Anderson and Henry. So from that point, or you can even mark it at the south end of the park to the riverfront, that's where you're going to find a home in this district. So that home, $500,000, will buy you something that probably needs fixing. Closer you get to the river, the more expensive it will be. And it's going to be 2,000 square foot or less, usually. Every once in a while, you can get a little bit better than that. You will also find 2-bedroom, sometimes a 3-bedroom condo in that price category. Now, what about $1 million? What if I go to $1 million? Well, the $1 million price point is probably the hardest price point to find in Savannah, Georgia. It's very popular. The home is like the perfect size. It's under 4,000 square feet usually. The way the home would be designed is it's usually a townhouse, so it's attached on 2 sides. It'll usually give a garden level, which could be an apartment, and then the main stories, and a little bit of a courtyard in the back, and maybe parking. Usually, if you're buying in at $1 million, you are going to have to do work, kitchens and baths. Now, as a caveat, we have a new development that is offering some really good deals as they get started. And right now, for a short period of time as the development goes, and our section Upper East River, which is just a little outside the boundary of the true historic district on the riverfront, you can get a beautiful 3-bedroom home, 2-car garage, brand new, with a rooftop deck, for right around $1 million. Might be something to consider. It's a small community, not gated, and it will have an amenity center and walk to everything because they are going to be doing some really fun things there. Okay, what else can you get? We have the Victorian District. So we talked about the park, going south of the park. For $500,000, you can get a pretty nice standalone home. I can guarantee that at $500,000, you will probably have to do work, but not so much. You will get parking usually, and you will get some yard space a little larger than what's in the downtown area. When you get to the $1 million mark, there are fewer of them. So you may end up just short of $1 million when you're looking in this area, but you're going to get a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot home in that price category. It's going to be standalone, beautiful, might need some work, might not, depending on what it is, where it is. But you could do pretty well if you expand your horizons a little south of the historic district. Okay, now let's get out of all of this and let's continue our little journey south. We have a few little neighborhoods, but I'm going to concentrate on the most popular one, and that is Ardsley Park. Ardsley Park was developed right after the turn of the 1900s when the automobile became much more accessible. And so there we have gorgeous manor homes and smaller homes and everything that you can imagine. But for $500,000, you can get a pretty good home. You could get something 3,000 square feet or a little under. If it needs work, you might even get one that's a little bit higher priced. And they're all just plain homes, regular home, not attached. They have really nice yards. Sometimes they come with a pool. They usually come with a garage and parking spaces. The $1 million mark, of course, buys you a glorious manor home, and those usually are 6,000 square feet and under. At the $1 million mark, they are usually pretty well done, but in Savannah, or like most places, there usually is something you're going to want to do. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. Anyway, let's go to Wilmington Island, another big favorite here. Wilmington Island is one of those places that people really love to go. It's more in our low country, a lot of water around and things like that. So Wilmington Island, for $500,000, you can get a pretty nice home. Sometimes you can get a new home, but it's an older community, so a lot of times that $500,000 mark is going to need repairs. So you're going to walk into a home and find that you may have to still do kitchens and baths. If it's updated on Wilmington Island and it's $500,000, you better act fast because it won't be there long. For $1 million, what do you get in Wilmington Island? Well, you're going to get a 3,000 to 4,000 square foot home. It's going to be in pretty good shape depending on the area, and you will see that you have a really nice sized yard. Of course, you have parking, a garage, you may have a pool, and usually they're done pretty well. Every once in a while you'll find an extremely beautiful home that needs updates. Not a bad investment after all. Okay. let's go to the Landings, which is our premier golf course community. It's a huge space. And the thing about the Landings is that it's outside of the city, about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on where you live in the Landings, because it's a very large swath of land. It's located on Skidaway Island, but really accessible to downtown, and all around the Landings there's shops and restaurants and grocery stores and things like that, so you're not totally isolated. But in the Landings you also have 5 different restaurants, you have 6 golf courses, 33 tennis courts, and you can get a pretty nice home. 3,000 square feet is usually where it tops off for $500,000. But I will tell you that the Landings is hit or miss. Usually, because the community is so old, usually you will have to do work for a home in the Landings to get it to what you want it to be. A lot of things were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that are on the market now. That $500 price category is going to get you either a really nice home or one that you have to fix, and there's not a lot in between. For $1 million in the Landings, you can get a pretty substantial home. It's going to be 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. Mostly they are somewhat renovated. There are some that are done really well. I must tell you though, this is a haven for the people coming from the Northeast. If that home is move-in ready with today's bells and whistles and $1 million, you can expect that it will be gone in just a few days. So a lot of competition for that really beautifully done property in the Landings. Alrighty, let's go to one of my favorite communities that gives you a lot of bang for the buck, and that is Southbridge. Southbridge is located just west of the city, and it is about 10 to 15 minutes, again, depending on where you live in Southbridge, about 10 to 15 minutes from the downtown historic district. It is also a golf course community, no gates, and it has, of course, it's one and only clubhouse and pool and one golf course, and you do have tennis courts there. Like the Landings, you have great pathways to ride your golf cart around, and the favorite part of this is it's an overlook community, and for $500,000 you can get a pretty nice home. And you'll have some nice land, great community. It's one of the more, I would say, overlooked and undervalued communities. So you can get probably 3,000 to 4,000 square feet for $500,000 and be pretty happy with that. Now, if you get up to the $1 million mark, that's an unusual home. That's a high price point for this neighborhood. And you can bet that if you're going to that price category in this neighborhood, you're going to do extremely well. It is absolutely like going to blow the doors off anything else you're going to see. So keep that in mind. There are new builds going up also. They do have new community areas being built right now. So for $500 and under, you can even get a brand new home. So think about that and keep it in mind. One more community I wanted to discuss with you, and that's Isle of Hope. Isle of Hope is kind of like southeast of the downtown area, probably a 20-minute drive in, and it is its own little enclave. It's fabulous. It's really beautiful. Golf cart community. Everybody runs around in their golf carts, and most people have lived there for a long, long time. It's hard to get in, but if you can, do take time to explore this neighborhood. It sits right on the river, so that we have riverfront homes. There's a great boating community, has its own marina. There are no HOA fees in this community. A $500,000 home is going to be a fixer, probably a 3-bedroom. I would say it's going to be 2,500 square feet or less, and you will have to do work. $1 million gets you a little bit more. All it does really is gets you a bigger home that you have to fix. So that's basically because it's one of those areas that everybody wants to be in, and so the prices are going to be higher. Now I'm going to give you something else. This is a little added bonus. The best bang for your buck in Savannah, Georgia is waterfront property. I do not know why, but waterfront property, that is, most people like really want this type of thing, especially coming from the Northeast like me. Like, waterfront was gold. In Savannah, Georgia, maybe we have so much, people don't really care too much about it. But if you are in the $500,000 price category, you are SOL. There's just no way you're going to get a waterfront home with really big water. You might be able to find something on a tidal pool, and it's going to need a lot of fixing. It's going to be smaller, and it's also going to be, I would say, unusual. So it's probably going to be very old, something that somebody bought or created to their specifications, a lot of add-ons, things like that. So understand that for $500,000, there's going to be something with it. Sometimes you get a dock, sometimes you don't. For $1 million, you're going to get a better home. Again, you're going to probably have to do the renovations on it. You might get yourself on a deeper waterfront lot. You may get a pretty nice dock as well. And since this is outside of my box, of the 500 to $1 million. If you go into the $2 million price category on the water, you are going to get such a screaming deal. If you are in that market, you will not be able to compare this type of waterfront to anywhere else for this price category. So for some reason, we do not have that luxury buyer here, which means that you can get the equivalent of a $6 to $10 million home for $3 million and under. And I'm talking about big, 8,000 square feet and lower. Usually they're between 5,000 and 8,000 square feet. For that price category, you're getting a dock, you're getting it on deep water, and you're getting a well-built home on the water in Savannah, Georgia, which will probably be about 20 minutes outside of the city. So stay tuned. We're going to keep on going here with a slideshow so that you can see how these areas will all interplay with each other. Thank you for watching. So that is my synopsis of home values in Savannah, Georgia. I know it's a long one. Thank you so much. If you've watched this long, oh my gosh, thank you so much for watching. It's my delight to bring these interesting videos to you because I just want to show you and explore with you my beautiful, beautiful new home, Savannah, Georgia. If you've liked this content, please share it with your friends, your family. Hit that little bell to get notifications of new ones. Like this video because then it'll help us raise on the ranks. We lost our whole channel when we moved into this new company situation. And, like I said, please share. We're looking forward to bringing you new and fun content going forward. Thank you again for watching.